everybody, and welcome back to RT3, or Review Team 3 as we are also known. And this here is Feem, and with me I have my companions.
First you have me, of course, the lovely and dashing CC Trainer Ling.
And of course you got me! Oh yeah, downloads Bergen. See, I did better than you.
You just keep telling yourself that.
Choose your episode. Guilt tripping.
Without further ado, our fabulous companions are here, so I think it's about time we check it out.
Check it out!
This week's episode is guilt tripping. The plot here is Blythe is racked with guilt when she inadvertently causes the Biscuits to pull the school fire alarm, which gets them suspended, and sends the school into a state of joy without their presence. At the day camp, Pepper is feeling her own guilt as she awaits a punishment from Vinny after she accidentally breaks his lucky rock.
She breaks it, yes. We'll welcome our first positive. This is Blythe. I thought Blythe was pretty good in this episode because she didn't hate the Biscuits. She wanted to make sure that they were okay, and she felt legitimate guilt for what she did, despite all the things Biscuits have done to her. She didn't hold it against them, or she didn't go like, I got them suspended, this is perfect. Perfect revenge. No, she felt guilty about it.
Yeah, definitely a huge amount of guilt on her shoulders, but considering the happiness that the school got from the Biscuits being suspended and not being there for a day, or in their case, more than 3 days, the guilt that Blythe was feeling was at a crossroads. On the one hand, it's good to see all of her friends and fellow classmates actually enjoying themselves, but at the same time, she's feeling extremely bad about getting 2 people suspended. Even though they're her enemies, they're still just regular people like her and everyone else. So, yeah, I really feel for Blythe in this episode. It's so hard to choose right or wrong, happiness, or whatever it is she wants to do for the Biscuits. It's difficult.
It is difficult and it is tricky, but again, it all started because Blythe was running in the hall, and that's, against the rules. Hey, she didn't follow the rules, and look what happened. Boom. Caused this whole problem to happen.
But the problem does a lot of good for the school. So that's one thing, but it doesn't excuse her actions, i.e. the running.
But something else I kind of noticed with this episode, it just shows how Blythe has more or less been raised, because everyone else was just like, Biscuits are gone. Yeah. But with her, it was just like, she did wrong and she felt bad about it, which, it just shows that she does have her morals, and, right and wrong is still there for her.
Well, yeah, it shows a lot of good points to Blythe there. And, well, I think Blythe was probably the most mature student about the Biscuits going, but we'll touch upon that later. But speaking of the Biscuits, how about those Biscuits?
Yes, how about those Biscuits? And their innocentness and their blaming of aliens. I thought the Biscuits were great in this episode. I just liked when they got in trouble and they're just trying to... I forget which one it was. I think it was Whitney. It was Brittany that said, like, Fisher will take away their... what was it? Their
salaries.
Their salary. Allowance. Just everything. Like, that moment that they were there, like, pleading their case or whatever, was just hilarious. There's so many words they were saying incorrectly. It was like the best part, I think, of my movie. It's like, Daddy's the worst. Didn't we used to have a sister? It's like, that was a movie we saw yesterday.
Yeah, I absolutely loved that bit. I mean, rewatching the episode, that bit was hilarious. The Biscuits definitely really funny in this. I mean, I actually wish they were in it a little bit more, because they were probably, in my opinion, as well, kind of one of the best parts of the episode.
But they weren't around a lot because they were victims of circus dance.
I love it. Circus dance.
Like, yeah!
It's so weird how Blythe is trying to stop the Biscuits from getting in trouble, and they just kind of back Blythe off because they think that she's only going to make it worse.
Yeah, because if they didn't do that, this whole thing could have been resolved really easily.
And then no episode. Bye.
But I didn't do anything. They didn't do anything wrong. It was my fault.
Rewind. Oh, we just got to clear Pepper's plot. Vinny, I'm sorry.
Enough!
There we go. Episode over. Bye. See ya. Thanks for your money.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned Pepper because she's one of my positives in this episode. Her breaking Vinny's lucky rock and her feeling really upset, seeing Vinny upset, and her awaiting this punishment that Vinny plans to do to her. It's just one of those instances where it's like, you really want things to be resolved before you hear the punishment, but at the same time, it's like you really don't want to be pushing the buttons of this person that you hurt, because maybe the punishment that they will dish out on you will be a lot worse if you just keep bugging and bugging about it.
Yeah, it's like if you keep asking or keep trying to amend it or try to resolve it, sometimes it can make it worse. So again, it was time that was needed, and I think Pepper kind of had that a little bit.
I felt really bad for Pepper in this one though. I love Pepper anyway. We all know that, but it's just seeing her that upset, and I was just thinking because she really, and it also shows that she really cares about her friends, even though when she broke it was only a rock that she broke, but she still knew how important that rock was to Vinny, so it made her feel really bad about it.
So naturally, she learned a lot from Penny for Your Laughs in how to fix your broken friendships with those that you care about. Rather than trying to make the person smile and, just do a bunch of jokes to make them feel happy again, no, she actually wanted to apologize and wanted to make the amends the proper way.
Yeah, and I actually noticed some good parallels with Penny for Your Laughs in this episode, because both plots relate to both plots was Pepper and Blythe having a problem that's basically the same problem but slightly different perspective in a way. And we haven't seen that in a while in this show, so it's nice to have two plots sort of coexist with each other again.
Yeah.
And what better way to connect those plots than with a song, The Guilty Tango.
Oh, I love this song. I love it so much.
I love the song so much too, but it's how much do you love it? I'm not even sure if this song's taken from some other musical or some movie or something, but I swear I've heard this type of music before somewhere, and the way it's done, it's where have I heard it from, and why do I want to keep listening to it over and over? It's so good.
I agree, and I will, I think I know where it's from. Bear with. Let's quickly find this, because I know it was posted. Here we go. Cell Block Tango is what this is based on. I don't know where that's from though, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure someone watching probably knows.
No, it was a pretty good song. I did like the visuals in there. Honestly, it's pretty hilarious. Yeah, no, I like the visuals, and again, the singing was good, the instrumentals were pretty good too. Biscuit twins were there with such ridiculous punishments, I think, that were going on in that song.
Yeah,
they hung upside down, and there's crocodiles or alligators, a pit or something with one of them, it's jeez.
And how much they actually spent on their haircuts? Well,
$700.
I know ladies spend a lot of money on their haircuts, but $700 for a haircut?
$700?
But I guess they're rich, so I guess they could just throw money around like that.
Yeah, I just get mine for $5. I don't know why they're paying $700.
They do a good job, because I love the Biscuit's haircuts. Pretty swag.
Does look pretty good though.
Yeah.
So that's Blythe's part of the song, and then there's Pepper's that really... It just feels like there's a lot of weight to it, and by that weight, I mean having to walk around with the weight of the rocks on your neck, the weight of the guilt. It really grabs you, and it really makes you feel that really heaviness on your own shoulders. That guilt is so bad that it feels like you are carrying rocks.
But that was a good metaphor for that, for the guilt, the weight she was feeling that was putting on her. And I like Pepper's singing in this was pretty good, yeah. But also, I noticed that she said flies in this really high pitched voice, and that just made me laugh.
Yeah.
Did anyone else notice that?
Yeah, somewhere along the line, her voice got really high.
Will Vinny make me feed him flies?
And all the banana cream pies. The spoiled banana cream pies.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That was hilarious. Yeah, but I totally agree. The visuals and everything looked great, and the shadows. I like the shadows effect they used. It made it really dark looking.
And the actual dancing, too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, it was nice seeing Pepper and Blythe dance. They did the tango together, and I'm like, oh yeah!
Well, it was actually more like Blythe was doing the tango, and Pepper was just holding on to the arms and her legs.
Yes, well, they can dance if they want to.
They can dance like they know they can.
I was leaning towards something else, but that works too.
So yeah, overall, Guilty Tango is a really great song, really sums up both of their guilt. Although I think Blythe could have probably avoided her guilt about her whole situation if she had just fought back against the Biscuit's suspension.
But she didn't fight back.
What?
She didn't fight back.
What?
Yes, unfortunately she didn't fight back, and therefore we enter the negatives.
Yes, so we start off with these negatives with the Biscuit twins. Yeah, while they were a positive, them not being completely honest is a negative, because they could have actually resolved this whole thing if they would have just said, we fell, we grabbed onto the fire alarm to prevent ourselves from landing on our faces, and that's what happened. And they probably wouldn't have gotten as much into trouble. Probably would have just been like a slap in the wrist, and that's it.
Pretty much, yeah. Because, like, they could have explained what happened with the domino effect going on there, where basically Blythe ran into the other dude who ran into Sue, who ran into Jasper, and then they all, like, ran into each other, like... So, yeah. The Biscuits explained that, and, well, like, Blythe said to them, it's because, like, they were using that, the fire alarm to, like, stop themselves from falling, so they could have... If they explained what happened... And I'm surprised none of the students vouched for the Biscuits on this, but then, again, we know what how the students feel about the Biscuits in this episode.
Yes. They're really excited, but we'll talk about that, I guess, the Biscuits weren't honest, and basically, after that, we see the party cannon in a guy's locker. We see these students really celebrate. I mean, it could have been complete if that just like a rainbow happened, or like how they were treating the situation of the Biscuit twins finally getting suspended. I just expected that Wizard of Oz song to come out, you know?
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Yeah, basically.
Ding dong, the biscuits are gone.
The biscuits are gone, the biscuits are gone. Ding dong, the biscuits are gone.
It just felt that way because they're celebrating, just having a big party about it, and everyone was feeling good. It's like, like just, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know how much they disliked the Biscuits or how much trouble the Biscuits really cause. I'm gonna assume, like, maybe they're really annoying in class and things like that, and, well, obviously they start food fights and all that sort of stuff, so, I don't know, maybe these students are just really sick of them, so... It really shows, because of how happy they are to see them gone.
Especially shows in Young Me and Sue.
Oh, yeah. Young Me and Sue were quite a little bit of a negative to me, because they did not help the situation with Blythe at all. They made her feel way worse than what she already did, because they really didn't like the Biscuits, so they were really persistent on, oh, Blythe, you did this, it's you that did this, you're the one that caused us to do this. But, I mean, they didn't really say that to her, but it kind of felt like that's what they were doing, pretty much.
They were the ones creating the guilt for Blythe as well.
Yeah. With their, you are now our Lord and Savior kind of talk.
You're our hero, Blythe. You saved us from those Biscuits, and if you bring them back, we will destroy you.
It's like, we heart you, Blythe. Actually, they said that, didn't they? Young Me was like, we love you. Or...
Ah, great, the secret's out. I mean...
Yeah, it's like... Guys. You can see, they can see that Blythe is feeling really bad about this, and they're making it worse.
Yeah, which again, it's like, you can see this distraught on her, like, face and how she's presenting herself, but no, you did good, you know?
So,
why are you feeling guilty?
Girl, why are you acting so cray-cray?
They don't talk like that, but, you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah, definitely they weren't doing Blythe any favors by making her feel worse. And that's exactly what Sunil was doing with Pepper. Just always bringing up the fact that Vinny's going to give Pepper the worst punishment that she can possibly imagine. And so many other things like that. Like, he had that really smarmy, snarky look on his face every single time, especially in the third act, where, like, he had that really, like, evil face, and it's like, Wow, I didn't realize that this was all Sunil who wanted to make Pepper feel really guilty about something that wasn't even concerning him.
Well, I guess Sunil just wants to see blood or something, because he's just really into, like, this punishment idea.
Yeah.
Like, jeez, why not just have Sunil dish out the punishment? He's obviously ready with a whole bunch of suggestions. With that face, he has suggestions in mind.
He's like, I've got this whip, I've got this, board with nails, I can try one of these out, I swear, that's how it was.
He would do that.
He really wanted the punishment. It's like, Sunil, we're learning something about you now. I like the side of you, Sunil. I really do.
It's scary. But I mean, maybe it's because it's Vinny and we know how close Sunil is with Vinny, so maybe that's why he was a little bit more rah about it. We can all agree that it was Sunil who tortured the Biscuits in the Guilty Tango song.
Yep. It's all been confirmed at last. Now we know. And now we know.
It wasn't Fisher, it was Sunil, because he likes to see people be tortured, apparently.
Speaking of Fisher, even though he wasn't seen in this episode, he's part of my one negative in this episode, a really big one. Well, one of two big ones. Now, we all know that the Biscuits are innocent. They know they're innocent. Blythe knows they're innocent. But Fisher doesn't know because, honestly, he wasn't there. And usually, from what I've seen in other TV shows in which someone gets in trouble because of someone else's fault, they're usually the ones who end up getting punished by their parents. Now, I was kind of hoping to see the Biscuits at their house and Fisher sitting both the girls down and saying,
You did what?
and, just say something like that and really, punish the girls, like get them grounded or, take away their salaries or something. Like, actually be the parent that he has to be in other episodes. But as I've noticed throughout the series, Fisher goes from being a stern parent with very appropriate and moral-like rules, and then in other episodes he starts to become like this big businessman who only cares about crushing the underlings and just, pampering his children, and I just don't understand why he couldn't have really given the Biscuits a real punishment, but apparently his punishment, or thinking about what they've done method, is to send them to a military spa to relax and think about what they did. A non-punishment. In fact, the Biscuits say that. It's a non-punishment to think about something that they didn't do. So, how exactly am I supposed to be on board with that?
Well, maybe Fisher did another thing. Maybe from where they worked, he fired them from there. He was like, girls, you're fired. Yeah. Or maybe the Biscuits actually explained the situation to Fisher, maybe? And then that's when he was like, okay, girls. Or something. I don't know. Like, for him to not be, again, like you pointed out perfectly, it's like he wasn't a stern parent or whatever. He didn't, do something like, like take their salary away or,
ground them.
Or ground them or, spank them. I mean, what?
But it honestly, but Fisher honestly doesn't surprise me because he, like Cece mentioned, he does do that a lot in this series. He can be a little bit like, I don't want to say inconsistent, but sometimes he can be like really caring and stuff, and then other times he can be really, he can be a really good parent, and other times he can be just, I don't know, just like that. It just he doesn't do what he's supposed to do as a parent, I guess. He's
not really doing any real discipline, that's the problem.
Yeah, that is a bit of a thing with Fisher, though. I take that with a grain of salt, personally.
Yeah, but I guess it doesn't really matter, because in the end, Blythe got the last laugh by being their little tutor buddy at the Biscuits' house and catching up on all their homework, no matter how long it takes. So yes, Blythe was able to get the last laugh with being the tutor. Something like,
haha, and might I add, ha!
But something that Pepper didn't, unfortunately, get in this ending.
Oh, the last laugh?
Yeah, Pepper didn't get the last laugh in this ending, because that's one of my negatives. The ending. Yeah, I don't really know what happened there, but I mean, I'm really getting a little bit annoyed about some of the endings of these episodes. It's like, I'm not saying that means the mean spirit, but it seems like, like, stuff like this keeps happening. Like, it happened in Papa the Panda with Sunil and Vinny's Sandcastle. It happened in the last episode, Snipmates, with Blythe having the 10-second thing with her fashion thing. And now it's happening in this episode. I mean, they've done this sort of thing before, but it's getting really for me at the moment. I just don't really like how that ended. I'm not saying it ruined the episode, but it did drop a little bit of points for me, just the ending.
Yes, apparently Vinny has other lucky rocks, besides the one that he was crying over for 20 minutes of this episode.
You know, great job having Pepper go through all that stress, just so it turns out you have more rocks.
The only thing that really worked out here was Vinny's punishment to Pepper was to just have her say, I'm sorry, because he doesn't want to hurt Pepper at all. I mean, that is one thing that's actually really good, and he does give that new lucky rock that Pepper wanted to give to Vinny back to Pepper, so that way it'll bring her some luck the way that his rock brought him luck, and maybe it could have ended just like that. We didn't need the bag of lucky rocks. If they had just taken that part out, the whole part about the lucky rock bag, everything could have actually been so much better.
Yeah, you know, I kind of thought, like, take out the bag of lucky rocks and just have the ending where we zoom into Sunil, like, shaking his head in disagreement, you know?
Yes.
That's what we need, just like just see him, like, just, like, shaking his head and just be like...
Yes. I wanted to see her be broken.
Next time, Pepper, next time.
He has like a freaking, like, a whip or something, just puts it away.
He's going to whip.
I know this won't happen, but he just, like, shakes his head, he's like, damn.
Okay, Sunil, you have some issues. Well, my final thoughts. This episode is really good. I mean, there was a few negatives here and there, but nothing too bad, in my opinion, personally. I mean, other than the ending, which was my most hated, not hated, but most just sort of disliked part of this episode, because it could have just ended, like, with Vinny's speech, and it would have just been much nicer, and it would have been a, like, happy ending. Yay! We need some of those. But yeah. The biscuits were hilarious, as always. Pepper was great, adorable, and Together Tango was a great song, and Blythe was Blythe. So, yeah. Kind of everything we really need. If it wasn't for some of the negatives, this episode would be probably a little bit higher in my opinion, but I'm going to rate it as a 9. It does a good job, but if it wasn't for some of the negatives, it probably would be a little bit higher, but it's still a fine episode.
For me, Guilt Tripping is one of those episodes where everything is going according to plan. Everything seems to be working out the way it's supposed to be, besides a few little, here and there hit and miss moments. But other than that, Guilt Tripping is actually pretty decent. I actually enjoyed watching it a few times over and over, and I always will go back and watch it whenever I get the chance. Blythe and Pepper, you really feel for them in this episode, especially with the Guilty Tango. It just really adds a lot of weight to your own shoulders. Just thinking about that guilt, it really is pretty deep. But then the negatives come in, and it just really knocks the episode down a few points. Not a lot, but just a few. The ending with Blythe's plot, yeah, she got the last laugh, but just the way we got to that last laugh, with the non-punishment and the happiness that everyone else feels, but she feels the guilt, it's not really the best idea, but it's still something. And of course with the pet plot, everything's working out the way it's supposed to. Sunil's not making it any better, but I guess that helps add to Pepper's guilt. But in the end, we could have just avoided the lucky bag of rocks, or I guess the bag of lucky rocks, and just moved on from there. We could have had a nice little hug at the end of the episode between Pepper and Vinny, and there you go. Episode probably would have been rated a little higher, perhaps maybe with Feem, a 9. But as for me, I give Guilt Tripping an 8.2 out of 10. Really good. I loved it.
Yeah, send us for your boy DB here at Downloads Bacon. I really do like this episode, and it is a really, 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 really good, breath of fresh air compared to the previous episodes we've had. LPS keeps getting knocked down, but it keeps getting back up. So you can never keep it down. But I feel like with this episode, it's maybe a sign that this later half of the season might be pretty good, because this one is a lot better than a lot of the previous episodes. I love the biscuits in this one. You know, Pepper was great. Blythe was great. The song was really good, which I haven't said that in a while about the songs in the series. There are a few negatives here and there, just enough to knock it down slightly, but with that in mind, I guess if I had to give it a number score right as of this moment, I will give this episode an 8.75 out of 10. It's pretty good. I recommend everyone to check it out.
So guys, that was guilt tripping, but you await us for the next episode, Pet Nap. So, you can see us there, folks. So this has been Feem.
CC Trainer Ling.
Downloads bacon.
So this is RT3, or RT3, signing out.
Peace out, home slices.
Cheerio, darlings.
And of course, pet shoppers, we'll be seeing you in the next episode. So thanks, and say it with me now. Thanks again.
Ouch.